This is Deadlock, a Norwegian security guard who successfully killed a radivore bear, which are animals with radiant capabilities, similar to Gecko's little buddies. But we'll cover Gecko in a couple weeks. She is the 5th Sentinel added, and the 23rd agent recruited to the Valorant Protocol, following Gecko but before ISO. Aesthetic-wise, she's similar to Cypher, very nice white and black combo, also featuring a little bit of like a tealish blue. Personality-wise, she's definitely very stoic, she's guarded. I definitely think she's kind of traumatized from her interaction with the radivore bear, and that made her close herself off. As well as she just kind of presents as a bit stubborn, but also caring, similar to Brimstone. As I've noticed from some of her voice lines, like, "You're all more important than words in a brief. Take care of each other." So she definitely doesn't want what happened to her old team to happen to them. And honestly, I think she's one of the more balanced Sentinels. I think naturally she plays a lot more like a trapper, like KJ, like Cypher. So I think that playstyle always leans a little more to the defensive side, but as far as Sentinels go, I think she is pretty good on the attack. As for Deadlock's utility, her C is called GravNet. It acts like a molly and adds an effect called Forced Crouch, which slows people in it down by 70%. And forces them in this crouching position. You hold F, similar to Cypher's tracker dot, to remove it. And as of, I want to say it was patch 902, I forget the exact patch, very few agents can now get out of that successfully. Her Q ability is called Sonic Sensor. If you notice, there's a large box that spawns around where the sensor is. This box is 9 meters by 8 meters by 2 meters. And it's essentially her version of a trip. You place it on walls similar to Cypher, though you don't need a connecting wall for this.
Listening.
And when an enemy makes noise in it, shooting, not slow walking, etc., it will go off and apply the concussive effect. Looney, can you move?
Sensor tripped.
Notice it's a relatively quick wind up too, and it applied the concussive status effect. Of course, it's very easy to avoid this by enemies slow walking through it, or it's also just very easy to destroy. With 20 HP.
Sensor down.
And I forgot to mention, the concuss also lasts for 3.5 seconds, one of the longest so far. Next up is her E, her signature ability. You've probably seen us play with this quite a bit. It's called Barrier Mesh. It is a wall that you can shoot through, throw projectiles through.
Throwing net.
You know, we've tested that with plenty of agents. And you can destroy either one of these smaller portions, or you can destroy the big one. Now, the wall of Deadlock and Sage, the health of Deadlock and Sage's walls get a little complicated. Essentially, there are two positions, when they're not fortified and when they are fortified. When fully deployed, the central orb, will have 680 HP, and the smaller ones will have 320. When it's fully orbed, meaning which is signaled by the little audio cue you probably heard a couple seconds after I threw it. Yeah, that. The central point will go up to 1200 HP and the smaller ones to 570 HP. It takes 3 seconds for it to fortify. And then lastly is Deadlock's ult.
Pull them to their grave! Ultimate ready.
Notice you do have a limited time to use it, much like Raze's.
Nothing there.
Deadlock equips an add-on onto her robotic arm in an attempt to entrap an enemy in what I can only describe as a blue cocoon. It takes 1.1 seconds to equip and maximum distance of 40 seconds, and you can bounce it off of any one wall.
Ultimate red, reeling them in.
It's very high visibility, unfortunately, so it's somewhat easy to avoid and
They're
escape.
done.
And the enemy team can shoot the entrapped player out of it. In the 7 seconds it takes to kill them, the cocoon has 600 HP. Just so you can see what it's like in there, would you mind hitting me with the annihilation?
My territory, my rules. I have them
It's
now.
unfortunately very overstimulating in my opinion. It's just a lot for me personally. Her util, I would say, is, in my opinion, a solid 3 out of 10. As much as I love playing her, it's just kind of a weak set. The wall, I think, is very good. The sound sensors, though, as her trip, just need a bit of a buff, in my opinion. I've seen somebody suggest, like, a smaller area in it where even if enemies are slow walking through, like, it will still go off, which I think would make her very unique as a close quarters kind of Sentinel. Her ult is a 5 out of 10 in my opinion. It's pretty good for an almost guaranteed kill, as long as you can get a little bit lucky. It's also not bad for locational info. For example, on the map Haven, I've used it to clear Heaven on A site a couple of times. As for how I would play Deadlock, on the defense, what I like to do personally is I will throw my sound sensor somewhere like here.
Sound sensor up.
And here, there.
Listening.
And then what I like to do is I'll wait for the match to begin. I will stand up here on Fracture A site particularly, holding out the wall, and rush up to this door. If I hear anybody come, I will immediately throw it, trying to block them from pushing there, and stalling any approach from them so we can try and handle the people on backside.
Sensor tripped.
For GravNet, I don't use this a lot, honestly. It's not a very good piece of utility. It's not bad. Part of the mentality part of what I probably should do is run up, throw that wall, and then come back over here and throw GravNet over here, but then you're just out of utility except for your sound sensor. The sound sensors that haven't been tripped yet. Again, it's also one of those things, you always have to make a judgment call on how much do you want to keep doing the same thing. Like I keep saying, you have to adjust to what your enemies are doing. For example, if they know not to push that side on A anymore, maybe you throw a wall backside one time, something like this.
Barrier deployed.
Although that was not a particularly good toss. But you get the idea, right? You have
very good.
What?
Forced to destroy the big one. So
Well,
even if I destroy this.
well, no, I was trying to get it on this ramp because, like, if somebody pushes aggressively enough, like Jet, for example. Although Jet could get over this anyway, I guess, so really what am I saying?
Well, yeah, with the bullet and accuracy, she wouldn't. If I destroy this left one, I'm stuck out in the open. If I try to destroy the right one, I'd have to destroy this second one here to actually get through.
But points relatively made where, like, again, just keep changing up your strategies. For her ult, there's not really a great place on this side in particular. If you know someone's going back here,
Nothing there.
It's not bad to throw that. You also should be able to do something like this, where it does open the door, and then maybe you can try and follow up with your wall. Separate them, isolate them from each other, and get a pick hopefully, and then back up to meet with your team. When on the attack, what I'll like to do with Deadlock is I really won't use sound sensors to defend coming from either side of the map. What I'll do is I'll try and push without using any utility. Hopefully we can secure the site. And then what I'll do is I'll throw a wall like here to limit them trying to come from their spawn. And put a sound sensor somewhere over here. And either on the spike or somewhere in this tunnel in case they try and go through that through the door here.
Sound sensor up.
Again, you're a Sentinel, you're kind of designed to try and lock down portions of the map. Now this is where we'll be testing some interactions, and funny enough, I think we have a good one right here to test with. One funny thing that I've noticed with Deadlock's walls throughout testing, if we throw them close enough together, segments will just break. So notice one of mine broke from Looney's, and one of Looney's couldn't deploy because of mine.
That's interesting. So if you throw it at a specific angle, break more, and then your own will have all four.
Yeah, interesting.
It's good to know.
And can I get a sage wall?
Up or down?
Down. Similar to most other things, again, it'll bounce. Your stuff will bounce right off of Sage's wall. You also cannot place sound sensors on Sage's wall, but I believe you should be. Oh, you can't actually place the wall on top of this either. I thought you could. It just bounces away. That's fine. Would I be able to get you over here to try one last thing with the sound sensor? So if I throw a sound sensor, I'm trying not to hit you, right? I'll throw it here and then come over, get away from it, so it won't hit you, right? Try and cover it up with the wall if you can. Did that destroy it? I can't read.
No surprises.
No,
Okay.
it did not.
So it doesn't even impair its functionality. That's very good to know. Are you ready to try and change the trajectory of the GravNet with the blast packs? 3, 2, 1.
Throwing next.
Yeah, that didn't even adjust it slightly. Agent pass wise, I would like to give some shout outs to the crossed wire spray at level 4. This is a mood and a half. The absolute, like, how did this happen look on her face makes me laugh so much. And then, I know I keep saying them, the level 9 card is an absolute banger. Such movie poster energy. And I just love the, like, little reveal of the vault in her lore where she fought the Raidivore Bear. But also, it's just really nicely composed. The composition is beautiful. I love it. But this has been Deadlock. I appreciate you joining us today. Please remember to like, comment what you learned, or if there is any standout bloopers. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. I hope you have a good one out there. Stay safe, and I'll see you next week when we cover Fade. Bye! Why are you, like, hiding weapons? Why are you being a squirrel? Alright. C. Oh wait. The sonic sensor. E. And then Alt.
My territory, my rules!
That's too busy.
This has a timer. Yeah, no, it has a timer.
It's also just too busy. I think I like the GravNet the best. The little grenade thingy. Right. Would you mind moving a little over here? Just because the box is there will make it a little hard for me to fully circle you, right? Now, don't destroy it here yet. Oh, that's not quite what I meant. Like, try and physically impact the wall on it. And then lastly, can we get Raise? You can probably already guess what I want to test with Raise.
That was spot on too.
Yeah, no, we could have done that better first try.
What about the wall? Because it bounced off the sage wall, so it does have a trajectory to it.
No, for sure, but, like, you would think that a blast pack, for example, would be able to move some type of molly, but I don't, or, like, projectile, but I don't think we're gonna get any of them to move. I keep testing it just to see, but I don't think any of them will change.
It's because they're two separate entities, and blast pack doesn't. Because if oh no, it sticks to you.
Yeah. It also will do 50 damage.
Could you see? Because that was like right on your head.
No.
Couldn't see?
No, no, I didn't
Please
see. I didn't see the blast pack.
Alright. Yeah, teammate items, it doesn't have a.
No, but I still don't think it would be incorrect to assume that they could affect trajectories, right? I also think that would be such a unique and good buff to raise that it would start to break up the Reyna jet meta a little bit, but Raze would return too much into the meta, probably, admittedly, yes. I'm gonna back out now and do the agent pass stuff.
The last one?
Yeah. Thank you for your help. I know this was a pain in the ass. I know you're sick, but I really appreciate it, man.
I just had a YouTube video playing on my other monitor. Whenever you said my name, I just
Yeah.
paused the video and was like, what do I gotta do?
Alright.